Hello, Namaste, and welcome to my channel, Spiritually Gina. And if you're watching this on Instagram, welcome to my Instagram. Today we are doing a little card chat series, I guess the beginning of a card chat series. And today we will be talking about mediumship and feeling into the dead, all right? And this will be part 1 in the series of mediumship, and then we will talk about communicating with the dead. But first, we'll talk about feeling into the dead, all right? Or the deceased, all right? So first, they don't like to be addressed as dead. They are in the non-physical, right? They are beyond our current 5 senses. And this is what mediumship is: the ability to communicate with spirit forms outside of our 5 senses that are still connected to this earthly planet or this earthly realm. I would say that not all spirits are connected to this realm, but especially if you have deceased loved one in spirit, then you will have almost a wider doorway into being able to perceive spiritual happenings, spiritual truths, right? All right, so we talked about what mediumship is, communing with spirits outside of our 5 senses. All right, so now feeling into the dead. Feeling into the non-physical, what does that look like? All right, so step 1, grounding yourself. This is really important for any spiritual practice you want to do, but especially when working in the spirit realm, when setting the intention to feel into the dead or feel into the departed ones. It's really important that you're grounded, because there are a lot of entities, and we as human beings carry a swirl of energy within us. And basically it's like whatever is dominant within you, that is what you will attract as you're doing this feeling into the non-physical, right? So it's just very important that you are grounded, because you want to attract the highest vibrational possible energy. I would suggest beforehand tuning to 432 hertz. This is said to be the sound of the universe. So that will just kind of help you pull your energy into your field and also fully ground your being, your spirit, your soul into this physical body, all right? So that's step 1. It has to be step 1, grounding. And step 2, knowing if you have a proclivity towards communicating or feeling the dearly departed, all right? Because I know for me personally, I would say that I've always have had mediumship abilities. Like whenever someone would pass away, I would be very closed off, but when you close yourself off from something, it's indicative of something else being there. So like, I think for me personally, this is my personal experience, because I was not open to people after they passed away. For me, it was, in hindsight, for me, it is indicative of mediumship ability, because I did not allow myself to feel, basically. I did not allow myself to cry. I did not allow myself to be involved emotionally. And I think that if I were to have been more emotionally involved in their passings from this physical realm, I would have been able to perceive and feel their energy more. But because I was not open emotionally, then I could not feel them. That segues into my next point. You must be open emotionally. And this is after you have been properly grounded, after you are properly situated in your body. Then now is the time for you to properly just be open. I think I was saying to feel open. Sorry, I'm driving, so this is kind of coming to me intuitively. But just being super open to the process, because you have to almost let your guard down in a certain way, knowing that you are safe because you are on this realm, you are in this body, and as soon as you don't want that connection that you are tapping into or feeling into, you can cut it off immediately. So knowing that there's a certain amount of spiritual protection inherent in your being anyways, and also a spiritual sovereignty and spiritual authority inherent in your being already. So when you go to open up that doorway, so to speak, it's easier for you, all right? And I feel also that was number 3. So number 4, if you have a loved one in the non-physical, that should be step 1 for you. And if you don't, I think all of us would have loved one in spirit, but maybe a friend loved one in spirit. Basically what I'm saying here is that you want to feel into a familiar spirit before you fully tap into mediumship ability, meaning like don't go offering readings to random people until you are fully grounded in your own ability to perform mediumship services. And for me, I know that I'm a medium, so I'm working on basically grounding at this time before I fully offer my services. But it's just important that you have that base of awareness, basically. And I believe that your loved one in spirit, or a friend's loved one in spirit, provides a safe connection basically for you to make, especially if you're just diving into mediumship, because it can be a treacherous sea basically out there. But again, just knowing that you're protected in this body inherently, you've done your grounding work, you're feeling into it, and then also you have loved ones' energies surrounding you, right? So your first mediumship reading should be someone that you have known intimately, or a friend or a loved one, or someone you have known intimately, or a friend, someone that they have known intimately. Basically, it's like you don't want to invite random energies into your space, at least not at this time, because you don't have enough practice, you don't have enough experience yet, and that's okay. We are still establishing that. As soon as you get that, then you can move on to just tapping into whatever you want to tap into. But right now, it's safest for you, and also better for you to have that familiarity with someone you already know. All right, so those would be my tips for you if you are feeling into the dead, basically. If you're beginning to feel into the dead. And I will also, I guess at this point, give my own story, and then I will wrap up the video. All right, so I'm not going to say who, because whenever I say who, I don't like the response. Basically, someone that was very close to me passed away. And not as soon, but as I was visiting with family at the time, I felt this loved one's energy is just completely surrounding me. And when you begin to feel into the dead, it is undeniable who you are feeling into. And so that's when people say you can be tapping into the devil, you can be tapping into dark energy. You just have to understand that they don't know what they're talking about. Because when you are doing energetic work, even if you don't have, at that point I didn't have any experience, I knew exactly who that was. I knew that person's energy. It was undeniable. Not even from me feeling into that person's energy, but me also having a knowing as to how that person would feel about the circumstances surrounding what we were doing. Basically, they would have been happy that we were all together, that we were all meeting, that we were all communing. I just felt a lovely sense of happiness. So I would also say that spirits generally are in a very good place. So if you are encountering a spirit that has negative energy, I would take some steps back and realign and reassess, because every spirit that I have tapped into, they are coming from a very loving, high vibrational place. All right. So yeah, basically it's like you just know what you're tapping into, because at least you have a knowing. And this also segue into your clairs, clairsentient, clear feeling, clear cognizant, clear knowing, clairaudient, clear hearing, clairvoyant, clear sight. And I feel that mediumship, depending on who you are, it really depends. But for me, I know my mediumship shows up as claircognizance, clear knowing, and clairsentient, clear feeling. And those two often work hand in hand. And no surprise, I knew exactly who that person was. And so I wasn't afraid, because I knew their energy. And so this goes back to knowing energy, basically, and also knowing that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So knowing all those things, it should make it easier for you to feel into the dead. And next, I will have how to communicate with the dead. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Namaste.